Hello everyone, I'm Irene Yoga, and today I would like to share with you just a few exercises. It's about 10 minutes long, there's a video. You can pause it anytime, you can stay a little bit longer, about 2 minutes in each posture. The idea is to open the back of the hips, the front of the hips, inside of the hips. So we have a couple of things today to work. We have a little stool and 2 blocks. We start the practice with hands on the hips and maybe rolling the body back and forth, massaging the sole of the foot. Of course, you can take a long time, maybe take a couple of other movements to warm up your body, but I'm taking very simple I possible can to offer you these movements. I roll my hips one side to another. I even send one leg back, point the toes, stretching the back of the knee, and then move into the other side. So it's you can progress for all level of practitioner, for total beginners to a little bit more advanced if you want. The first thing is we'll bend the knees, take the hands on the knees, and we'll open the back of the hips. So the idea is to roll forward into the mat. I'm taking the stool first, or maybe have a chair, and I'm taking the sole of the foot into the mat parallel with the front of the mat. And I keep the knees forward, engage your belly a little bit, and keep your spine long. Take your palms on the block, and I release in here. I try to avoid to round the back. If you notice you round the back, please bend the knees. So protect the knees by keeping the knees active, the kneecaps active, the muscles on the top of the legs active. If you want them working by extension into the legs, stretching a bit more. So take your time, maybe taking a couple of weeks to work on this one, so you can stay with the knees bent about 2 minutes. The idea is to lengthening up and draw the belly in and keep your spine long. This is why we need to try to train the muscles on the back to lengthening up. If you don't need a chair, we can work also with 2 blocks, taking the blocks in 2 blocks in the front of the legs and foot. Take the palms on the blocks. Don't lean too much into the blocks. Don't leave all this weight on the block. You can bend the knees, remember. But start to feel a nice stretch into the back calf muscles on the back legs and the muscles on the upper legs. And bam, you can take the blocks in the lower height and take the hands and maybe moving a little bit forward, maybe pivot on the ball of the foot, relax your head. Again, remember, you can stay not like about 1-2 minutes there, breathing and relaxing. And if you want, you can take your hands on your ankles, but keep your body long, keep your upper body long. If you want to go deeper, you might take in here hands into the mat, and releasing, maybe hook the big toes, move your nose closer, or maybe place your hands behind of your legs and moving the head closer to the knees. This is also a good variation. If you want to be more stretching, remember you can still be longer there. And then gentle, start to place your hands on the knee, roll your body all the way up. So that was the journey on the glutes, hamstrings and calf muscles on the back to open the back of your hips. Moving on, so moving now inside of the legs. Inside of the legs, we need to coming and mat you. Idea observing my toes, they are pigeon my toes, and observing my knees going to the side. That's very important. So moving first one, beginner variation, we'll take in the chair or the stool in the front. Reposition the legs into the pigeon. And gentle bend the knees, and observing the knees is very important. If you have problem with your knees, I want you to take it easier. I want to be careful, but work, don't stiffen the knees. So really pushing a little bit, not the knees in, move the knees to the side. And again, observing the knees on top of the ankles, pigeon and move, look forward, keep your spine long, hands on the chair. Or maybe take the chair on the back and gentle place your bum, but observing I'm taking my knees to the side, even here. So even here you open up. It's a bit quite nice postures. You can stay a bit longer. Don't leave your knees and sluggish your body. So moving the knees to the side, open up the hips. Taking my elbows inside of my legs, and I'm just put my hands into maybe fingertips touch, maybe prayer position, what's available for you. You can stay there a bit longer. If you don't need the stool, you can remove it and go a little bit deeper. You might take the blocks are a bit lower. Take the blocks on top of each other, or maybe just one block, and very gentle, place your bum back down. And again, move the knees back, move your head back. So the idea is to lengthening up and start to notice into your hips. Taking a couple of breathing, again, you can stay here 1 minute, 2 minutes, depending how you practice. You build up in time if you want. The idea is the knees going to the side, so not inwards, and not moving the head too much forward. Move your head back. That's the best things to do. So if you don't need the block at all, you can remove the block, place the block to the side, and now this is a full expression into the garland pose, into malasana pose. Again, moving into no blocks, no stool, but observing to the side. I want to explain to you, to the side, the idea is not to move the body head forward, and moving the head back. So feeling like tailbones heavy and head back, shoulders away. Stay with your breathing and listen your body all the time. Again, if you want to make it a bit harder, you can take a block in palms, you look up and you discover all this, but just observe the sequence once of the to open inside this time of the legs. It's another position I would like to do, a butterfly or a Baddha Konasana. So if you have lack of flexibility into the muscles inside of your hips, you'll observe when you place your bum back, the knees are together, you round the back and you stay in this position. Now in time, we need to work to open the hips by protecting the knees first and allow your knees to relax on the blocks. You might need, if you practice home, a couple of pillows, but the idea is to move the head back. This is it, head back and keep your spine long. Doesn't matter of the knees yet, keep your knees who are feeling, the hips who are feeling all right, but let's train the body to be long. And feel the connection spine into the hips. Hands can stay in the prep position. You can remove the blocks if you don't need them. And you can, using a bit more, taking a few weeks maybe this place to open up, I'm bouncing my here legs a little bit to the side. Not a lot, not something to feel into the knees, just a little bit of bouncing to connect deeper into the hips. So this can be another variation. Now, if you want to work harder and you have a bit more practice, you take in the knees, you never push the knee down. Take your thumbs and open the sole of the foot into like a book, bring the heel closer and push your elbows inside of your thighs and start to pivot the body forward. Maybe stay high, but try to avoid rounding the back. Don't pushing ever, never forcing, never. Just allowing the body to open up, just a couple of movements. Again, you can stay in the Baddha Konasana, a couple of breathing, or maybe even 1 or 2 minutes. Move the knees all the way up and take your legs in, moving gentle, your body side to side, maybe the knees side to side. Just releasing any tension. So that was we work from the fourfold. When we open the back of the hips, we open inside of the hips. Now we're moving a little bit forward, so I'm moving now to open the front of the hips. But for this one, I might want a towel, or I fold my mat because I'm about to place my knee on this to protect my knee. You might not need it, but in order to protect the knee, you might need that. Keeping tucking the sole of the, so working inside of the legs this time. So inside and the front actually on the legs. And take the tuck in the toes, taking the hands on the hips. Keep your spine long. And take your hands on the lower back. Now moving the pelvis forward. This is the idea to open the front of the hips. Take your palms on the lower back. And I'm moving my pelvis forward and the head back. You can look forward, you can stay here. It's also very good for back bend. But just listen, if you have problem with your lower back, taking will be much easier. A little bit harder variation, let's say a little bit more active, take the block between your legs and squeeze the block between your legs. That will train your muscles and to protect your lower back. Really start to squeezing this action into the block. You place the hands again into the lower back and move the block forward. And maybe if you're having this journey, the hands on the hips, that's fine. So pelvis going forward, sternum, chest going up. So this is the action and head back. It's a bit of back bend that really penetrate the front of your hips. This one also, not just the back bend. A nice and easy. When you're done, move your head off. Nice. Remove the block. You can take in steady. Try to not twist straight away from this in these postures when you're in the posture. Just maybe relax your toes and release here. Or otherwise, if you have comfortable, you can place your bum back on your heels. Now, this is a little bit more advanced variation. I will offer you the last variation. This is for if you have no issue with your knees. You can place your bum, level the heels to the side of your bum, knees together. And now you can stay here, or otherwise place your hands, take your elbows. You can stay in the saddle pose like that. Or maybe a bit even more variation, release your head down and close your eyes. Some people find very comfortable this position. Some people it's no hope to get in this place, but leave the time, leave your body to open up in time, moving back and listening all the time in your body. That's the very important things I would like to mention. Now, I want to close a little bit the hips. I want to move into the side, the last parts of the four things outside. I cross my right leg on top to the left. Give a right knee a hug, feeling a nice stretch. You can twist if you want to the right side, otherwise stay here. If you want more, you can bend the other leg and stay here, or maybe stuck in the knees. Again, it's another issue, perhaps with the knees. You can take in the hands and move the head down. Any variation as long as you feel outside of the hips. You relax your head. So don't rushing the posture, staying a couple of minutes each side, equalizing the same size. So if you stay 1 minute one side, taking again 1 minute in the other side. And just again release. Of course, we move to the other side to create a balance. You extend the other leg, cross the other on top, take the knee again. I can stay here or otherwise twist to the back. Or if you want more, you can take another one underneath. You can stack the knees and explore these postures. So remember, it's not about the shape of the posture. It's not about the how deep you can get into the postures. It's all about how you feel. And how, if you really feel okay, if you feel safe, if you feel you open and you do something that results from your hips. I hope you enjoy it, and if you have more questions, please text me and I will do my best to answer. Namaste.